Hello YouTube, this is Neon, and today I'm going to be doing another episode of From Coping to Thriving with Life. In this series I just talk about my life, and I talk about how I cope with life and how I pursue thriving with life. And it's all about me, and I'm doing this probably mostly for me, but I do hope that other people will benefit from it in some way. Perhaps find a tip here or there that they may choose to apply to their life. So, there it is. One person watched the last episode, or the last edition, whatever the word is, of this, and I love that person! It doesn't appear that at this point I'm getting a lot of people watching me talking about my life. But for that one person who does, I love you. And I'm sure that you love me too. So in coping and thriving with life, I have reduced the amount of alcohol that I'm drinking. I've reduced it from about 5 servings a day. It's like 4 to 5 servings a day to 3 servings a day. Now this comes, and I'm saving money too, by the way. This comes from this crazy study that I talk about in more detail in my talk titled, Does Drinking Alcohol Cause Cancer? That study shocked me. Some of the shocking things were that, and by the way, numerous doctors did this study. Some of the shocking things was that drinking alcohol, and it doesn't matter if it's wine, beer, or liquor, it increases the risk of all kinds of cancers. Throat cancer, brain cancer, breast cancer, I believe colon cancer, and the list goes on and on and on. It does not just cause cirrhosis of the liver for people who drink heavily. That was the first shocker. The second shocker was that even for people who drink in moderation, there is a slight increase in the risk, or there is still a link, right? There's a slight increase in the risk of certain kind of cancers, even for people who just drink moderately. That risk, again, it's a slight increase, and I believe that the number of cancers where drinking in moderation increases the risk is reduced, but even drinking in moderation does increase the risk of certain cancers to a certain extent, right? To a small extent. And then another shocking thing was they were saying that to drink in moderation is 2 drinks for a guy every day and 1 drink for a woman. I was really pissed off when I heard that, because I always thought it was 1 to 2 drinks for a woman, 2 to 3 drinks for a man. And after most of my life, I'm in my mid-40s, I didn't like alcohol. I finally started drinking very cheap alcohol, getting drunk every night, because 4 to 5 servings gets me very, very toasted. I would drink early enough before bed so that I could come off of being drunk, because I can't go to sleep drunk. But I would sleep better if I drank. But I just thought I was going to go with moderation, which I thought was, what did I think it was? I thought it was 3 drinks. Again, it's 2 drinks. So based on all of this information, which, by the way, I was going to say, these people are misogynists. They're saying women can only drink 1 drink a day. They hate women. And then the doctor who on Good Morning America announced the study was a woman doctor. I was like, damn, I can't get out of this. So anyway, another doctor said, the best way to eliminate your risk for cancer was to not drink alcohol at all. I was like, he's crazy. I'm gonna hurt that man in my mind. I was fantasizing about hurting that doctor for him saying that. Talking about stop drinking altogether. I was like, you crazy. But another doctor had said, or maybe the same doctor, I don't know. He had said, if you're not gonna stop drinking, it's always good to reduce the amount of drinking that you do, or stick to the moderate drinking indications that the doctor said. So I knew then and there I was probably going to have to reduce my drinking, and it took me a couple weeks to come around and just finally say, boom, I'm not going to drink 4 to 5 servings. I'm just going to drink 3. I'm going with the previous moderation indications, which was 3. I'm not going to reduce my drinking to 2. Can you imagine going out to a nightclub and be like, well, I'm drinking in moderation, so I'm going to have 2 little shots, and then I'll have some diet soda, and some coffee, decaf. No. So, the nice thing about it is that I really can't afford to drink, so I'm going to save money. I did my calculations. This cheap vodka that I'm buying, it's like $8.99 on sale, and it's a 1.75 liter bottle. My calculations are that I drink close to 3 bottles a month, or definitely over 2 bottles a month, drinking 5 servings. Drinking 3 servings, I will be drinking about 1.5, a little bit over 1.5 bottles a month. And already, I was going to have to buy another bottle, and I now realize, now that I reduced my drinking, which I did this, I believe is a little over a week ago, because I didn't want to come here and be like, I'll reduce my drinking, and then the next episode, I'm drinking 5 servings again. No, so I've reduced my drinking. I've done it for over a week. But yeah, I already realized I don't need another bottle because this is going to last me for the whole month. So I've already saved over $10. Well, almost $10 with tax. So that's that. Now I have a hookup story. I'm going to try to keep it brief. I put it on an ad on Craigslist 3 or 4 days ago to hook up with this dude. And he's somebody who I had hooked up with before. And I don't really remember. I might have smoked too much herb when we was messing around. But I remember him, but I don't remember the experience that well. And we were going to hook up. It was supposed to be 8:30. He's like delaying. And then by midnight, he's like, I can get there after midnight. And I was like, it's too late. So we planned it for the next day. And he said, I will call you, or I will text you after 6 from the gym in downtown LA to see where you're at. I was like, cool. So the day comes, I'm doing my recording. It happened to be, it was either a Sunday or a Wednesday. I guess this was a Wednesday. That's when I do my videos. And the video was a mess, and I had to redo it. And then I had to upload it from my phone. My phone had to stay at home. I had to go shopping. And all of this was around 6 when he was going to text me. There's no way I could receive the text. I had to go shopping. So I got home, received the text. I apologized because it was like 10 or 15 minutes after the text, having not responded. And I explained to him my situation about shopping and having to leave the phone home. And I told him, you know, I'd really like to see you. Let me just put my groceries away and I can see you. And he basically said, forget it. So I told him, don't be like that, is what I told him. Don't be like that. And he said, okay, well, I'll nurse on a beer in public then. So I was kind of like, I didn't know what that meant. He's literally drinking beer in public. I didn't know what that meant. But I was trying to get nasty, so I guess I didn't really care that much. So 7 minutes pass, my groceries are put away. I text him, hey, you come over whenever you want to. Then this guy tells me, what does he tell me? He texts me and he says, I'm no longer in your area. I thought you were playing games. So I'm like, what the hell? 7 minutes pass. I don't get this. So I just say, are you coming or not? And then he texts me back, I can't get in. The door is locked or the gate is locked. And I'm like, what the hell? Didn't you just say you left the area? What does that mean, right? You can't get into my building. So I say, what do you mean? And he says, I'm outside. All in big letters. He's, I'm outside. Like outside is 2 words, right? He's just trying to be uncanned. So I say, I'm coming down right now. So I go down to meet him. I'm trying to be friendly because I really want to hook up, right? I'm really desirous. And he starts in on me automatically. I live in a poor neighborhood. I live in a tiny apartment. I live in a very old building. And he starts off with how long have you been living here? In that tone of voice. And I'm pissed already because obviously he's playing games. And I say, oh, I've been here for quite a while. Like, I'm not going to tell him how many years I've been here. It's none of his business. Like, I don't need to justify myself to you. So I'm pissed, but I'm not saying anything about it. And then I tell him, well, you know, So at some point I tell him, I'm glad to see you. I'm really looking forward to messing around. And he says, yeah, well, so do I. Well, so am I. That's why I'm here. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is not going good. So then he tells me, and basically just from my facial expression, he could tell I'm pissed off. And he tells me, are you mad or something or what? And I go, does it matter? And he says, and he didn't respond. Then we're in the elevator and he says again, or as we're getting in the elevator, he says, are you mad? Are you mad or something? And I said, does it matter? Like, I'm not going to answer this guy's questions anymore either. I'm not playing any more games. And he says, yeah, it does matter because you don't have any reason to be, you don't have anything to be mad about. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to pass on this. I'm going to escort you downstairs and out of my building and do not contact me again. And he says, oh, that's fine. Doesn't make any difference to me. What floor are we on? I said, we're on the 3rd floor. I just hit the 1st floor already. We're going to go down right now. I will escort you outside. He makes a little rude joke about the fact that I'm not going to be able to have sex, right, as he's leaving, and that's fine. And then he sends me a really classist, and by the way, classism, it is bigotry and it is discrimination. He sends me a really classist text and email saying, you're poor, you're uneducated, you're rude. It was just ridiculous. And I just thought, man, I'm glad I'm not going to have to see this guy again. And that was that. And that was just one of those lessons that sometimes sex has to take a back seat and you just don't get to have it. I'm working out, my libido is kind of higher than normal. But there's other things that are going on that are very important now. And I just sometimes have to take care of myself because it's quicker, I'm lonely, I need to be held, I need to be touched, I need to be caressed. I would like to be able to touch and caress and hold someone else, but it hasn't happened very much lately. I don't know, the last time I hooked up might have been a week or so ago. I'm not even sure. So that's that. I wanted to share that story. The things that are going on in my life that totally friggin' rock, I don't want to go into detail now, but I will go into detail in the coming months, okay? I really will, but I'm just trying to figure all of this out. But the fact that I'm not obsessing over sex is pretty awesome. So, or not obsessing over sex as much is pretty awesome. I'm no longer drinking heavy whipping cream in my coffee, excuse me. And that saves me money. I get the runs every day from drinking heavy whipping cream from the lactose intolerance, which is terrible. And I just decided I'm going to save that $15 a month from buying 3, right? At least $10 a month from buying 2 to 3 16-ounce bottles of heavy whipping cream that I love because it gives the coffee texture and I like it, but it's not worth the runs. And I'm saving money, and I've decided that, I can drink black coffee with a little bit of Splenda. That's fine. Now, coffee does function as a laxative for me, so it does create an extra bowel movement, but it's more tolerable. It's not high projectile fluid, It's a more normal bowel movement, so I can deal with that. Yeah, so, and that's the bulk of it. I will be doing this from coping to thriving with life in the future. A lot of these things that I've talked about are part of my coping and thriving with life. Not obsessing over sex, reducing my drinking, not using heavy whipping cream, are ways that I'm improving my life and taking care of myself. I thank God that I am. Without him, I would not do anything correctly. He's a blessing. Yeah. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share about what I'm doing, and maybe you can decide what you can do to benefit yourself, because you are precious. You matter. You're important. And I will tell people time and again, one of the key things you can do to improve your life, it is to help other people. It's not a end all. It's not like everything's going to come to you because you're helping other people selflessly, but it does bring a lot of wonderful things to your life. And I'm going to leave you with that. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, comment commercials, recommend this video, do one or more of those things. Thank you. Best wishes.